Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today Pat McAfee is 100% right about his criticism of the Indianapolis Colts. As you guys know, the Colts just finished their season with an 8-9 record, making that the fourth consecutive year in a row they are missing out on the postseason. And last week, after they officially got eliminated from the playoffs with an embarrassing loss to the New York Giants, McAfee took to Twitter to let his frustrations with the team and management known in a very lengthy post on X. I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys that now, and then I'll also go ahead and show you guys what he said today after this stuff, because he also, after he did this, he went on his show and he had another kind of rant about this. But I'll show you guys what he said today as I'm recording this Monday afternoon. This is what McAfee said after they lost to the Giants. I've said what I believe to be the truth about the team, and a bunch of Colts fans on the internet were trying to get me booed out of the city. Current players have won nothing during their entire tenures, started using me as in my face to try and paint me as the enemy in the city I've committed my life to. And in the end, everything went just like I effing said it would. In the biggest moments, everyone with a brain knew they'd crack, and they did. A blind person could see the red flags on this team. Work ethic questions never happens on good teams. Preparation, commitment questions never happens on good teams. Late to meetings never happens on good teams. Late to/skipping treatment never happens on good teams. The franchise QB tapped out of a game on third down in the red zone because he was tired. Never happened in the history of the NFL. That's literally the only thing you have to tell someone who knows ball, and they could tell you everything about this team. Hey, the franchise quarterback who's a professional athlete getting paid millions of dollars in the face of a multi-billion-dollar franchise tapped out of the game because he was tired in the middle of the season. Oh, wow, that team has no chance, would be the immediate response. And to the surprise of nobody, that was the response by everybody who's ever played, coached the game before, but Colts blogs and fans who have been covering the Colts since 2020 and more recent knew better than everybody, started personally attacking me and trying to kick me out of town. When I said Joe Flacco gives us a better chance to win than AR, immediately after the tap out, I would have said whatever backup QB we had on the roster would be a better option, is what I think he's trying to say there. That can't be what the face of your team is doing. Just can't be. To be a bigger aspect of it all. Somehow AR thought it was okay to do that. That's a locker room issue. That's a culture issue. That's an indicator of loser attitude radiating through a building that was built by the greats. I have no idea how they fix it. I don't know what it's I don't think it's like a light switch. All right, we're gonna become pros now, but maybe it is. But what do I know? Oh, wait, how was this going to all work out? I knew that as a multiple year season ticket holder, not renewing, and someone who was actively daily attempted to be an additive to this beautiful city. I hope they become a good franchise again. The city deserves it. The OGs in the Colts building deserve it. Equipment managers, trainers, ticketing, PR, sales, and on the flip side, the players, coaches in that building deserve whatever happens to them. Your unwarranted arrogance, laziness, and lack of professionalism has led you to another early vacation, which is probably what most of you entitled bums have been hoping for. I don't speak for the city. And I don't speak for all ex-Colts players because I was only a punter nominated for the Hall of Fame 3 times now. But nonetheless, I speak from my own perspective. I've never seen a group waste opportunities, talent, money more than this group. Okay. Wow. Scorched earth by McAfee, if I don't say so myself. So now, right before I recorded, I saw that he posted this online here to his account. We'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what he had to say on his show today about this. It's about a 49-second clip.
So the only thing I was trying to say publicly was like, hey, why don't we, for the good of the fucking city, okay, we would like to have a great football team. You saw what happened with the Indiana Hoosiers with Signetti. These are football people that live out in Indiana. They love the Colts, love going downtown, love having a reason to go have a drink downtown, love having a reason to travel in through 70 or 65 to get downtown, have a little day, have a little night, have a good time, cheer on the Colts. We're fucking good. But instead, we've had to deal with just, and a lot of people sticking up for, and it's like, I think that's why I'm the most bummed, because I've been very fortunate to see a lot of good. I saw some terrible. And whenever I point them out on a microphone, it's like that's just me trying to say, hey, let's win and let's stop doing this shit, because that's what losers do. Now,
okay. He's 100% right there. This has been a team that has just kind of floating in mediocrity for about a decade now. And it's when I say mediocrity, I mean average. They've never really completely bottomed out. I know they've had like a few down years, but they're usually just kind of floating closer to like 500. They had those post Andrew Luck years where they're just cycling through wash quarterback after wash quarterback after wash quarterback. And the reason that I'm talking to you guys about this, I can't remember what I said at the beginning, but I'm sure if you're a Colts fan watching this, you already know this. They came out and said after their last game that they are sticking with their head coach Shane Steichen, which kind of understandable heading into his third year. He's only had 2 years with the team, and they were a game away from making the playoffs last year. They were like a game or two from making it this year. And more surprisingly, they're sticking with GM Chris Ballard, who I think has gotten like a pretty good perception, maybe nationally in the media, where people think he's a sharp guy, thinks he gets, good players in the draft, makes smart, savvy moves. But if you actually look at the macro perspective of his time with the Colts, it's been pretty bleh. It's been pretty meh. Let's go through some of this stuff. So first, I'll go ahead and show you guys a few posts here that kind of describe Chris Ballard's stats and his mediocrity as a GM for the Colts, who has just finished his 8th year, and I believe he's heading into his 9th year of being the Colts GM. So this is a guy, Alex Golden, who covers the Pacers. We've had him on the show before, but this is what he had to say to the post of the Colts keeping Ballard and Steichen. How in the world do you have the audacity to say that I believe in Chris Ballard when he's been doing this for 8 years? A below 500 record, 61-69, 0 division titles, 1 playoff win. By the way, that playoff win was with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has not been in the NFL for a long time, boys. If Jim Irsay doesn't care about his own team, why should Colts fans? 100% right. Now I'll show you guys some other stuff about the Colts here. This is all of the places in the AFC that Chris Ballard and the Colts have finished since he has taken over as GM. 2017, 14th, 2018, 6th, 2019, 10th, 2020, 7th, 2021, 8th, 2022, 15th. By the way, there's 16 teams in the conference. 2023, 10th, 2024, 9th. Mediocrity or just bad in a few of those years. Okay, let's get into some more specific stuff here. I'm going to show you guys this thread that I saw on X yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This is obviously before the announcement that I believe this is before the announcement of that they're retaining Steichen and Ballard. But anyway, all this stuff here is still very fascinating. It's time for the Colts to start completely over, clean house, and try a new direction. No half measures. This franchise is in need of a culture shift. 100% agree. The Colts have missed the playoffs in 4 straight seasons. That's their longest postseason drought since a 7-year stretch from 1988 to 1994. For those well-versed in Colts history, that's not an era you'd want to replicate. Shane Steichen, I think he said this quote that he has here. I believe he said it before the season because I read a whole article about it, which I'm going to give you guys quotes from that article too, from The Athletic here when I'm done with this. Shane Steichen, I think we're really close. The Colts finished 8-9. 6 of those victories came against teams that finished with 5 or fewer wins this year. Yet they didn't beat a single one of them by more than 1 score. They aren't that close. Longest tenured GMs in Colts history. Don Kellett from 53 to 66. That's 14 years. Bill Polian for 12 years. Irsay, I believe that's Daddy Irsay, for 10 years. Chris Ballard for 8, heading into 9, by the way. Ryan Grigson, 5. Joe Thomas, 5. Ballard is the only one not to win a single division title. That speaks for itself, guys. Now, here's some Anthony Richardson factoids of just how poor his play has been over the last 2 seasons. Anthony Richardson is the first NFL QB to start at least 11 games in a season, yet complete less than half his passes since Tim Tebow in 2011. Just the second since 2000. First since 2009 to start 11 plus games, yet finish with 8 or fewer passing TDs and 12 plus interceptions. Put it together, and Richardson started 11 games, yet completed less than half of his passes and 8 touchdowns and 12 interception. 12 interceptions. The last QB to put up those numbers or worse was in 1992. Whew. They speak for itself, man. They screwed up on the quarterback thing. Now, maybe you could say he's too young. He needs to mature a little bit. But I think I'm out on Anthony Richardson. I don't think he has it. I don't know if he's putting in the work. I think he has all of the physical tools. He's got a hammer arm. He's got a lot of athleticism, but I don't think he's got it up there. And I think it's gonna take a very, very long time if he ever has a chance again to be a professional starting quarterback in this league. And it seems like right now the Colts are just kind of gonna, repackage everything together. I think they're going to run back with Anthony Richardson for a third straight year at the quarterback position, run it back with Steichen again, run it back with Ballard again, as we know about the coach and the GM already. Quarterback, I guess, still remains to be seen. But The Athletic did an article about the Colts, and this is a thing that this type of article is the kind of the now they tell us article. It's an article that all of these beat writers have been preparing for a while, knowing that the season's eventually going to end. This happens a lot in the NBA, it happens in the NFL, and there were some interesting quotes in this article about Anthony Richardson, about the culture of the Colts and the direction that they are going, that I felt like I needed to share with you guys. So this first one actually went kind of viral on Twitter. I'm reading these off of my computer, and then I'll end up editing them in at some point later. So here is the that's not the one I wanted. Here is the first one. This one went kind of viral on Twitter. They were trying to hold Richardson accountable, which is understandable, but then the guy they put in wasn't the guy either, one Colts veteran said. So when they went back to AR at that point, it's like, okay, but what are we doing? That really affected the team. Multiple players met with Richardson privately to tell him he wasn't meeting the standard. DeForest Buckner among them. I signed an extension here because I believed in you, Buckner told Richardson, according to the Athletics' Jim Trotter. But you've got to do your part. You've got to do your part. Another factoid of Anthony Richardson here, this was a quote before the draft from his coach at Florida, Billy Napier. And I think if you read this quote, you're like, oh, yeah, this has been all of his issues in the pros so far. None of it should have been a surprise. Asked in March of 2023 about where Richardson would need to improve most at the next level, Florida head coach Billy Napier offered a telling response. Growing as a leader, having conviction, with his voice, speaking with clarity, to be kind of a standard bearer for the entire organization. I don't think he has improved on all of those things at all. And we're 2 years in here. We're 2 years in. Now, maybe you could say, hey, there's got to be other people in the organization that could hold him more accountable. But it seems like from all the stories I've read, from all the quotes I've read, people are trying to, and maybe there's some immaturity stuff there, but it doesn't seem like he's putting everything together. It doesn't seem like he is doing everything. And this isn't even like a Caleb Williams situation with the Bears, where the Bears, just the infrastructure, the coaching hasn't been there. Now, maybe you could say there's some stuff. Maybe the offensive line could be better. Maybe the weapons can be more consistent with Anthony Richardson. Maybe you could say Steichen should be better. But, I mean, I saw quarterbacks last year come in and almost take the team to the playoffs. Minshew mania, baby. I saw Joe Flacco come in this year. Now he had some bad games. Yes. Was he perfect? No. But he still was pretty productive when he was in at the quarterback position playing. And Anthony Richardson's not doing enough to keep himself on the field. And it's kind of a concerning thing is, does he care? Now, this is a other quote from that story that is a bigger picture thing for the Indianapolis Colts and kind of like just the direction of the team. And this is a pretty telling quote here. It is an anonymous quote, by the way. So this is the quote. There's no vision there, one veteran Colts player said. From the top down, from the front office to the coaches to the players, no one is ever on the same page. And every year at the end, we're sitting here losing. If you look at the best teams in the league, they all have a vision and they commit to it. The Chiefs keep winning because they have a vision. The Lions turn things around because they have a vision. There's no vision here. Pretty telling quote, guys. no direction with this team. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they're building around. And when you have no vision, when you have no direction, and you're not going to have either a player step up and be a leader in the way that you need to, if you're not going to have a GM define the roster and build a roster to give this team a direction, and if you're not going to have a head coach that is going to help get this team in a direction too, and kind of an identity, this is what you get. This is what you get when you still draft decent. You're not a mess at drafting and getting talent and signing talent, but it seems like the culture there is broken, or there is no culture in Indianapolis. And I'm going to give you guys predictions right now for next season. The Colts aren't going to be a good team. And it's kind of surprising that they are going to keep Ballard and Steichen, because maybe Colts fans can kind of weigh in the comment section of this video here today. But kind of usually when teams make decisions with coaches, with GMs, a reason they do it is if they're scared of season ticket holders not re-signing because they want that money. They want people to buy season tickets because they're looking forward to something. And if you're giving them the same thing again and again and again, there's going to be a point where season ticket holders will just be like, all right, we're done. Pat McAfee said he's not going to renew his season tickets as of right now. Maybe he'll change his mind. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of other Colts fans that think the same way. Now, maybe there's some Colts fans out there that will always be a season ticket holder no matter what, and cheers to you. But it is going to be kind of interesting to see if there are going to be a tremendous amount of season ticket sales down this next year for the Indianapolis Colts, because it seems like the reaction I've read online about how fans feel about the direction of this team, they are sick of it. They want Ballard gone, and I think some of them even want Shane Steichen gone. So there you have it. Pat McAfee, not necessarily the biggest fan of Pat, but on this take here of the Indianapolis Colts, he's 100% right. There's no direction there. They don't know what they're doing. And yes, they have some nice players in certain spots, but it's not enough to overcome not having a culture and not having an identity. So there you have it. That's going to do it for this video here today. If you like this video here today, thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button. That is the number one way that you can help support the show, and it makes sure that you don't miss. It makes sure that you don't miss a single video of this channel. Make sure you hit that like button if you like this video here today, and please leave a comment of what you think about this current Colts situation, what you think of Ballard, what you think of Steichen, what you think of Anthony Richardson, what you think about the direction of this franchise. Because right now it seems like they're just kind of stuck in the middle. Kind of just a wandering ship in the night. No direction. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.